Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here, Friday, April the 28th. Continue with the Acts of the Apostles. Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest, who was going to go to Damascus to capture more these apostates. As far as he's concerned, that's what they belong to, the way, and they're apostates, so he's going to capture them. So basically, this is one of those key moments in history when God directly intervenes and the course of history is changed. God has the prerogative, he has the right to do this. He knows exactly how to do it without in any way impinging upon our freedom. So Jesus appears to Saul. We know what happens. He's blinded for 3 days, like the 3 days, in the tomb. And then I love the encounter between Ananias and Jesus. But Ananias answered, "Lord, I have heard from many people," like Jesus wants Ananias to go and take care of Paul. And he says, "In case you haven't heard, Lord, in case you haven't," I love this encounter. It's so honest. Like he's such a dear friend of the Lord. "Lord, I have heard from many about this man, like you haven't heard, how much evil he has done to your saints in Jerusalem. And here he has authority from the chief priest to bind all who invoke your name." But Jesus doesn't say like, Ananias, shut up. Ananias, I'm Jesus. He doesn't do that. That's why I love this encounter, because these are like two dear friends. And God takes a lot from his friends, Just remember that. Just think of Jeremiah, the prophets. God takes a lot from his friend St. Teresa of Avila in the future here. So these people are honest. Ananias is prepared to do what Jesus asks him to do. But he's honest about things. And many of us are not honest enough with God. Maybe that's why we have so many problems with him. But the Lord said to him, "Go, for he is an instrument whom I have chosen to bring my name before Gentiles and kings and before the peoples of Israel. I myself will show him how much he must suffer for the sake of my name." What a beautiful thing. And then so Ananias, he goes. Boom. That's it. He goes. And we know what happens. The course of history is going to be changed because of this one man, Saul. But also Ananias had a part in it, right? Jesus could have gone himself. Jesus could have baptized Paul, but no, Ananias, an instrument going to baptize Saul. And then Ananias fades out of the picture. He performs, his duty out of loving obedience. And then the course of history's changed. It's absolutely marvelous. It's just absolutely marvelous. So read this, savor it, and slow down when that exchange between Ananias and Jesus is taking place. Yeah, it's just marvelous. As if you haven't picked that up by now. Okay, over to John 6:52-59. Okay, the murmuring is starting. The Jews disputed among themselves. I think it's a little more serious than disputation or disputing. I think it's like the old biblical murmuring. Like they're doing something pretty bad here. "How can this man give us his flesh to eat? This is nonsense. This is cannibalism. What is he talking about?" So Jesus said to them, "Oh, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. It's just a simple..." Excuse me. Jesus drills down. Excuse me. Fighting a cold. "Very truly, I tell you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you will have no life in you." And he keeps drilling down. "Those who eat my flesh and drink my blood have eternal life, and I will raise them up on the last day." So he just keeps going. Jesus is going to reveal, and he does, and thank God he does reveal this gift of the Eucharist for you and for me. And this often is what divides us. It's what makes us Catholics, right? It's why people come into the church, even in these crazy times in which we live. The world, is bonkers in so many ways, but people, they come into the church and they sense something different. I ask converts about this. It's the Eucharist, right? They sense something different. They're drawn by the Eucharist because it's nowhere else in the church. The Orthodox have it, but there's problems with the Orthodox Church, that I won't get into right now. But they long for something, and once the Eucharist is explained to them like this is what makes us Catholics, right? So we have to be faithful to the Eucharist, faithful to Mass, faithful to confessions if we have any mortal sin, so we never receive the Eucharist in the state of mortal sin. So thank God that you as a Catholic believe that God has so loved you and me that he takes a fallible instrument, someone we call a priest, and through that priest he changes bread into his very body, blood, soul, and divinity, so that you and I can be fed and sustained and be given all that we need in order to inherit eternal life. What a wonderful thing to be Catholic. It's not easy, right? But it's a wonderful thing to be a Catholic. God bless you.